In this video, we're going to cover the parameter settings for the new Delta add-on functionality. As you can see here in the Ninja indicator panel for the OFA indicator, we have a number of groupings of parameters here. The conventions for most of the parameters are typically settings for color, opacity. As you can see here, these are for the histogram shown here, setting the opacity and the color, and where appropriate the other ones have dash style opacity and width that can be set. The delta histogram here, the rationale for the approach of adding them to the chart panel is that it uses less screen real estate needed by lower chart panels. The scaling of this is relative to the visible range of bars, so as more bars come into view, the value of the highest delta, be it net positive or net selling, will adjust accordingly the height of the bars. To begin with, the COT numbers that you see here and the delta numbers, these are provided as part of the core OFA framework that have been migrated from the Ninja 7 version. These will only show in print mode due to the screen real estate required to display the numbers. This is covered in the PDF documentation that hopefully you've had a chance to review. And the colors and font for each of these can be set. The number on the left that shows when these are enabled is the net delta for the period of the bar, and the second number is the COT, which represents the pullback before a new period is created in the next bar. Each time the bar makes a new high or makes a new low, the value is reset. Again, notes are provided in the documentation, and I recommend you spend some time in the print mode to observe the values of these. So again, these values are provided as part of the core. All of the features I'm going to discuss next are all covered and enabled in the Delta add-on upgrade. These are the histogram, as you can see here, and the colors and the opacity can be set. These are the net buy-sell values drawn in the histogram mode to give you a relative comparison as the market unfolds bar by bar, and giving you some visual feedback as to the net buying or net selling for each period. The next section I'm going to cover here is two of the main features of this add-on are the two types of volume circle analysis that have been provided. The first of these is the bid circle and the ask circle. These represent the horizontal volume at price, either at the bid or the ask, and the filter of volume that is set according to those prices. Two of the key settings for each of these volume circles are the max circle volume here, which pertains to the horizontal bid-ask, and the second one, max diagonal difference, pertains to the second set of circles, which I'll cover next. The key part here is this value here is the setting that will define the maximum value for the slider control that I will cover in the next section. So for each of these you can define a maximum volume depending on the market and the instrument, volume and liquidity characteristics that are used for that market. Whilst these dynamically adjust on the screen with the controls, it is worth taking the time to familiarize yourself with the volume levels at the bid or ask level on the horizontal or on the diagonal that are typically average for your market. That way you can additionally set the levels with the controls to monitor activity that is above or below average. Being mindful and conscious of your market will benefit you in reading the unfolding story in the market. For the purposes of this video, I've set the horizontal bid and ask circle color and style to be the dot style with a width of 2. This makes it clearer on the video, and also to differentiate between the bid diagonal circle and the ask diagonal circle below that you see is a solid with the magenta for the bid side and yellow for the ask. This will become apparent in the examples following. The bid and the diagonal ask circles represent the diagonal in the way the OFA has always been designed to do, from the bid price to the ask price at one price tick above. The difference is determined here between each, showing a circle where the difference is greater than the minimum set by the current slider setting that will be shown in the next section. The difference could be at the ask level or at the bid level for the diagonal comparison, and a circle representing either the bid side or ask side will be drawn if that value is greater than the current slider setting value. More on this in examples will be covered in the next section. The next two sets of parameters are the exhaustion, which is an auto exhaustion algo that has been provided to represent either exhaustion or a temporary pause in the market, probe and rotation for that period and range. This is at the high and the low, and as you can see, the color, style and opacity can be set for each of these. Also down here is the unfinished auction section, which again defines color, size and opacity for the bid and the offer side. More to be covered in the next section. The last part in this section is the OFA cumulative delta indicator that you can see that has been added to the chart in the lower panel. OFA C delta that you can get from the indicator list above. Running quickly through the parameters here, the first one here is the reset CD start of trading session. When that is enabled, what that will do is it will reset to 0 at the start of each session the value of the cumulative delta. When it is unchecked, for the number of days loaded to the chart, it will run cumulatively from the very first period at the far left of the chart for the very first day and run continuously. In most cases I use the reset, but for certain trading scenarios you may wish to uncheck that and let it run for the entire period. The other key parameters down here are the color for the wick, as you can see below, which also can be adjusted for the width to perhaps 2. The up bar color, which is Dodger blue, which is net buying. The down bar showing net selling. And also the outline color, which currently is set to white. The last two have been added just to highlight where we have net volume, which is selling in an up bar, and the second one is where we have net buying in a down bar. So the color of these can be changed to highlight. If in any instance you're seeing flat lines in this bottom section, it is indicative that this has not been activated for your login. So please check the support if you're seeing flat lines in this chart region. Examples of the cumulative delta in the chart will be covered in the next video.